والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. In a hadith, it's been narrated from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam that he had said, "Muru awladakum bis-salati wa hum abna'u sab'i sinin wadribuhum 'alayha wa hum abna'u 'ashrin وَفَرِّقُوا بَيْنَهُمْ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ." In this hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam has said that you must order your children to pray their salah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when they are at the age of 7. Before the age of 7, they should have begun the learning and to become accustomed to the salah, so that when we instruct them for salah, they are able to now embark on this journey of worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And from this narration is established that the seeking of knowledge, it actually becomes compulsory from the age of 7. Because only once they have the knowledge will they be able to fulfill this order of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and be the worshipper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That means the theory, for example, in United Kingdom, when the education, they begin it formally from the age of 4 years old. And then prior to this, they have other methods of learning. In the Islamic tradition, the age of learning begins formally from the age of 7 years old. This means prior to the age of 7, Islam wishes and advises that the children remain within the safety of their homes, in the learning and guidance of their parents, the mother and the father. This is what Islam has taught to us. In Islam, there's no preference that children go to the nursery and very young learning educational institutes. Whether they are learning through play, whether they are learning through other more formal methods. If you go to India and other African countries, Asian countries, you'll find that they, from very young, they are learning addition, subtraction and spelling. China, same. Very young children, they'll be learning all of these complicated knowledge. My brothers, why is this important? It's so we have an understanding of Islamic guidance, an Islamic example for us. Otherwise, we will just follow what the societies are doing and what we find the people doing. Because the people follow what is on the news and tradition of the authorities. And then they leave aside the light and guidance that's been given to us by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam and by the Sahaba. And then we become a really foolish people. So, coming back to this point, although we find different ideologies, methodologies, we're not saying everything wrong. We're just comparing this to what Islam has taught to us and bringing it in context of our life in UK, London. In Islam, the perfect religion and the perfect guide, the formal education begins from 7. This means prior to 7, the children should be taken care of at home, in the lap of their mothers, and in the safety of their family home, having healthy food, having love and affection, and in the safety of their home, they develop physically, mentally, spiritually and emotionally. You see what Islam is teaching? That's why this hadith has come. مروا أولادكم بالصلاة وهم أبناء 7 سنين. 7 years old, then you order. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam could have said that order for salah, order them at 5, at 4, any age, more better. From the young age, they'll be more accustomed to worship. They didn't come. He said order from 7. This means they're learning from 7. This means prior to 7, now their learning should be through their family life. Love and affection at home and the attention of the mother. Now let's compare this to what we find happening now. The mothers are not at home. They're indoctrinated as well. And the men, that the women have to be out working, have a professional life, and be educated, and focus on all of these things. And then what happens is they haven't got time to make the good food for the children. They haven't got time to give the child love and affection. They haven't got time to bond and connect with the perfect example taught to us by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's own example. They haven't got time for this because they're too busy trying to be promoted in their professional life and to have to maintain the family expenses by earning the money. This is not in Islam. Islamic guidance say the mother's main honor and her dignity and her respect is in the children, that she bring them up on the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what happened now, because she's more busy with her professional life and earning the money, so we can have expensive life and a guest can come and see you, mashallah, they have a huge mansion and expensive furniture and latest car and commodities. So then she has to now, number one, not breastfeed. No time for this one. Or they do funny thing, collecting their milk and put a bottle and feed. We don't think that the mother's milk is just an item. This is how the secular and the modern medicine sees things, as items. They don't see beyond protein and calories. Everything has a spiritual, unseen benefits or harms. If you eat the pork, it's not just dirty. It will affect you spiritually and internally destroy the person. So the mother now, she can't even with affection through natural ways take care to feed her baby, because she has to be at work at 8 in the morning or 7 in the morning or 9 in the morning. And then you have the powder milk and other things. And then what happened? Because she has to go to work, she's a busy woman, and the man as well got to pay the bill and she needs to help pay the mortgage and other expense and live the high life. So then they leave the children in the care of other people, nurseries and any place and institute. We send them there, go and stay there all day, in the hands of strangers, in the hands of non-Muslims. And then our mind just thinks, Ofsted, very good. The same Ofsted department, reality is, higher up you go, it's those same departments and the categories that are killing the children in Gaza and supporting it, or they are silent and complicit with the murder and slaughter of the children. Strange world we live in. The same people who don't say a word and don't blink an eye at the open slaughter of not 40,000 as well. I get confused. Since the last 1 year, I'm hearing one number coming up in different places. 40,000 people killed. Hundreds of thousands and millions of people killed and displaced, oppressed and slaughtered. And the people in authority and position, they keep silent at this happening. And those same people complicit with the slaughter of the children, are the same people that are here making safeguarding policies for Ofsted and etc. for the children we have in this country. And then we think, mashallah, so amazing these people. They're taking care of our children. The complication and complexities of the psychology of these people is beyond the understanding of the general population. If those people were in front of me, higher up, they know exactly what I'm saying. The psychological complexities of their psychic function is too beyond the general population. So Allah Ta'ala made the deen very simple. On who you make your friends and who you don't make your friends. Be with the believers and just stay away from the people who reject Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. If you follow the simple principles and laws and guidance, you don't need to be a psychologist. You don't need to think too deep. Allah made the religion simple. But because we can't follow this and we want to become psychologists but we are not qualified, so we fall into the pit of Jahannam. We are destroyed, our family is destroyed and lost. But the fact is we have to, my brothers, be very careful how we assess our decisions, where we take our families. If we leave our children in the wrong places, we will be held accountable for this severely. And the consequence of our actions, we will taste it our entire life. We should put our children in the hands of ulama, in the madaris, and we should love these places, attached to these places. But unfortunately now the people, rather than this, they're more interested in Ofsted, they're more interested in their secular achievement, and for this and for their children, they compromise their religion totally. The basic principles Allah taught in the Quran, they put it aside. And then Allah becomes so angry with them that they can't even differentiate. They become blind, they become dumb, they become deaf. That if you tell them, your words fall on deaf ears. They can't see the truth, they can't understand anything. Allah become angry with the people that after my simple guidance you can't follow it, and He leaves those people. وَهُمْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. They don't even realize they're in the misguidance. The people start going in a way of transgression, they don't even realize they're in a misguidance. They think actually I'm on the best way, not knowing this is the way to the fire of Jahannam. How many times we're living our life and we think about the next life? How many times each one of us can ask? How many times do we think that I'm going to die and then after I die in the grave, there's going to be a Jannah or a Jahannam? And am I preparing for that Jannah? Am I actually preparing to save myself from the Jahannam? That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Akthiru min dhikri hathimil laddat." That remember a lot that thing which destroys the desires. It destroys all the enjoyments of this dunya. Whether it's a money, whether it's a job and promotion, whether it's any enjoyment of this dunya, remember one thing, it will destroy it. Ya'anil maut. Remember the death. He meant the death. When do people bring death in front of them? And then if they remember there's going to be death, after which there will be billions of years of life. We're so worried about our 60 years or 80 years, also unguaranteed. We're so worried when we are going to become a pensioner, who's going to take care of us then? I have to have all my business in place and income in place. BB clear for myself and children. It's only a few years. But when we die, we're going to live for millions and billions of years eternity. Whoever thinks that I'm going to die, have I prepared for that time? Are my kids prepared for that? When they go to their grammar school and primary school and they become a bigger Dr. Sahib, business Sahib, and a millionaire and settled and have their children are happy, do you ever think that also when my children die and go in the grave, are they going to be happy? We don't think that far. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, remember the death. Prepare for the meeting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have to prepare for that death and that meeting. That's why Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, وَضُرِبُوهُمْ عَلَيْهَا وَهُمْ أَبْنَاءُ عَشْرٍ. That when the children are 10 years old, force them to pray. From 7, order. From 10, you force them. Obviously, in our modern world, everyone got freedom of choice. You ask the children, do you want to pray? If you're not ready to pray, take your time and think. This is the modern system. You have to have freedom of choice. Otherwise, emotionally, they'll become, in some calamity and tragedy. Take 1 year and think how you feel.